Right, so let's have a look at this camera, which I recently found in a flea market. It is a Bilora Bella 66, a very basic medium format camera from the late 50s, early 60s. And I have to say it's quite a cute design of a camera. And this 66 is a reference to the film size it uses. The frame size is 6 by 6 centimeters. So there's also like a 44 and a 46, and they use 4 by 6 and 4 by 4 centimeters. When it comes to features, this is not a very advanced camera. There are only two aperture settings, f8 and f16. And they are well switched by this lever, and it just flips a smaller hole in place when you move it. So it's quite a basic aperture design. But yeah, if you just have two aperture speeds, why make it complicated? And the same goes for shutter speeds. You have three different shutter speeds: bulb, 50 and 100. And 50 is the flash sync, so that's what you're supposed to use with the flash. And 100 handheld. And this is a viewfinder camera, so you don't have any rangefinder, no way of measuring the distance, and of course no light meter either. So you just frame the picture with this window. And since there is no rangefinder to focus, well, you have to use zone focusing. The closest you can focus with this camera is 1.5 meter, and then it goes all the way to infinity. I would not try to precision focus things with this camera, but yeah, I mean, if you step it down to f16, it should give some more depth of field. And yeah, for landscape, it should not be a problem. But for portraits, yeah, you have to be able to estimate the distance a bit more precisely if you want to have your portraits in focus, or just bring a measuring tape. Right, let's get this leather case off, which is in part also falling apart because these threads have given in after time. This is quite also expected. That I've had this happen in other cameras too, that these threads and leather cases give in, because they are quite old after all. And then looking here on the top, well, you have a cold shoe for a flash, and well, here's the connection port for the flash. And the shutter button is this thing here, which is quite a large thing sticking up, and you can connect a remote release into it, which is quite useful for long exposures. And here I can see a small part of this plastic or whatever has fallen off on this film advance knob. And one feature which this camera does have is a double exposure prevention, because when you advance the film, you need to turn it a few steps to get the shutter to re-engage. So if I click now and click again, it will not fire. So, but still you can make like half a frame double exposed, because this is activated like after 2 turns, and you need to turn a little bit more to advance to the next frame. In any case, in the back here you have the typical frame window for seeing what frame you're on, and you cannot close it, so yeah, do keep this out of the sun or direct sunlight. And to open this camera, well, you just turn this here on the bottom, and you should be able to pull it off. And inside the camera is, well, typical medium format camera of the era. You can see some of the mechanism for the shutter here, how it engages the shutter. Wait, I did say it had double exposure prevention, but now I could press it multiple times. Okay. I guess malfunctions can happen. Loading film into this camera is quite easy. It's just the typical medium format way. You take the spool from the old film, put it to the uptake side, and then take your new film. And of course, avoid doing this in bright light. That's why I'm just using a roll with a backing paper, because this video light is quite strong. So I would risk ruining a film if I did this with a real film in it. In any case, so you just push this down and move the film over. Now I'm trying to see it through the viewfinder of the camera. Let's see if I can find the opening. There we go. Actually, this one is quite good to load film with, because this is very open. You can reach in and like grab it much better than other cameras I've used. So this is very, very nice in that way. Yeah. Just move it to the start and put the back on. And back is put on the same way by flicking this, and yeah, make sure it has engaged properly. Move it to the first frame when it shows 1. Okay. Right. Here is number 1, a lot of turning. And then you're probably wondering, what's in this bag? Well, I had hoped it would have been a light meter, but it turns out it's a flash. And it is one of these old type of flashes which you can fold out like this. And let's see if I can find, yeah, there I found it. And you get this sort of parabol thing, satellite dish. And here in the middle you put a flash bulb, which of course means this is useless to me. I cannot use it for anything really. It just looks quite interesting. And there probably are some nasty batteries inside of this. And yeah, let's find out, I guess. This tape has no glue left in it, it just comes off. Oh, okay. Battery changed in 29.876. Okay, but it hasn't become nasty or anything, so I wonder if this is maybe a mercury battery even, which makes it more difficult to dispose of. But since it hasn't started leaking or anything, I'll just leave it in here. Yeah, and this is basically what you have inside a flash. You have a condensator, a battery, and some wiring to the flash bulb. So yeah, quite a simple electronic device. There, of course, don't open flashes if you have recently charged them, because there will be current in the condensator. Of course, you have to see what this flash looks on the camera. So mount it into the cold shoe and unfold this. It did not become battery door falls off, but whatever. And then this flash sync cable goes here. Yeah, kind of fit it into the whole frame. So it becomes such a setup. Is this just loose or whatever? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So this was the Bilora Bella 66. If you have any questions about this camera or want to know anything more, then we'll just write a comment. But in any case, thanks for watching and see you in my next camera video, I guess. Bye!